Yeah, so I'm Ryan Kenealy. I'm an account director here at Blueprint Partners. Personally, been through various kind of stages of kind of mental health, whether it's been supporting family members, whether it's kind of going through stuff myself in the past, which has led me to kind of pursue this and have quote unquote a passion for it when it comes to work. And in one of my previous roles, I did some training with yourselves. I found it very, very rewarding, very fulfilling, and it actually allowed me to kind of put that passion into practice and help my colleagues. And when I came to Blueprint, one of the reasons for joining Blueprint was the values that they have and they hold, and having the Be Well committee allows me to kind of continue that journey. Yeah, being a line manager, I think it's vital to kind of not just support your team, but to kind of see the signs. I might not have the answers, but if I can see the signs, there might be somebody else that can support in a better place or a better capacity. And I think being a line manager, I've noticed every single person I've managed is different. So it's not just, right, you've had this answer from this training course, that's the blueprint. So it's always about being understanding, being present, I think is really important as well, and letting people speak, not always asking them questions, sometimes letting them speak. If they want to open up, they'll open up. And I've built really strong relationships with my team here at Blueprint, and I hope that they know they could come to me, regardless of the training I've had, if they do have any problems. I think it's just getting to know your team, but not in a work environment. Find something that's comfortable for you and your direct team. Mine's, we go out for coffees, we go for walks, we go sit in the park. We did that for her development. So we have kind of 2 development phases here at Blueprint, June and then towards the end of the year. So instead of doing that at work and it all being about work, we went for walks, we went and sat in the park. And I think I got to understand her better on a different level of how I can support her or what she's needed or the kind of the gaps. So yeah, I think it's just being present, understanding your team outside of work is super, super helpful, because we're here 5 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever it is. A lot of what happens outside does creep into work. And it's important we're allowed to balance that with their progression versus how they're feeling outside of work. My go-to self-care tip, I think it is to look after yourself. It's very broad and very, very obvious. But I always found if I neglected myself or I neglected my health, whether it's exercising, whether it's how I look, I felt like that always snowballed. It's getting out and walking, it's exercising, it's running. I'm a new dad and a new husband, and I think I've made changes to my physical life because I feel like if I'm 10% better, I can be 10% better for them as a husband, as a dad, and also at work. If I've cut out drinking, I've got back into running, and I feel like I'm making kind of ground everywhere. So yeah, I think it's look after yourself first and foremost, because then you can look after other people and you can kind of tackle things in a better space. I think really, really strong. I think it's just talking about it. I think if you only talked about it once or twice a year, it feels like it's something else we're being just talked to about. I think if we bring it up a lot, which we do, the Be Well committee, we do lots for the business. I think training, as soon as you add the word training to something, it turns it into something different. I think it's just understanding what mental health is and what well-being is. To me, they're very different, and I think the well-being of our employees is something we can all take part in. When it comes to mental health, it feels like it is a very different kind of level of input. But when it comes to well-being, I think Blueprint put that at the forefront. Whether it's snaps, which is like something that we ask our team to nominate their colleagues if they've done something well or they've helped them somewhere, right up to things like we go on lots of social activities. We do stuff as the Be Well committee for people on regular intervals. I think Blueprint embrace it, and I think it's just become part of our culture, which I haven't had in many places as kind of much as I've seen it here. Totally, and I think because I'm always happy to talk about it, I've noticed that people it sometimes takes someone to kickstart a conversation. And I've noticed before, I've never said something because nobody else has. And so now, being older, being maybe a bit more experienced, and knowing how it can help people open up, I'm always happy to kickstart conversations, because I know someone else might be having that same battle as me, or the same battle as somebody else. And if I can share my story, or how I've potentially overcome it, or the battles and troubles that I had, maybe they can open up as well.